Okay, this tutorial is going to show you how you can freeze columns because sheets can become quite lengthy. They can go all the way over forever nearly on the right. And they can have many, many rows with them. So I'm going to show you how we're going to freeze some columns, how we're going to add a sheet at the bottom, how we're going to add some currency and some formatting to it, and then also how to do some basic formulas. So here we go, and you will have to kind of cover all these on your end project. So one way I'm going to show you is with the mouse. So you see here, if I wanted to freeze everything in column B and I wanted to scroll F right next to column B, if I put my cursor in the corner here in this little square and you see the hand, if I click that hand and drag it over, then that is what we're freezing those columns. Then if I use the scroll bar at the bottom, you see how A and B stay and I'm able to scroll F right next to B. All right, and that is called freezing columns. Another way you can do that is with the menu, but I really like to do it this way because it's really easy. Again, I just put my cursor up here, and when I see the hand, wherever I drag that line, it's going to freeze the column. So if I wanted to freeze it to just column A, then I could pull it that way. What if I wanted to go back, and I can also freeze rows. So let's say I wanted to freeze just to the bottom row here, and then I was able to scroll up. And so there's different ways of doing it. Just be sure it's the hand, and then you can freeze. So that's called freezing columns. Another thing I wanted to show you is when we're dealing here, these look like this is all numbers, and we're dealing with currency. So if I select those, I can simply select those and click on the $ up here, and they automatically have currency and they have 2 decimal places. If you don't want the decimal places to show, you can simply decrease this currency here, or if you're really working into an in-depth, you can increase it at this point right here. All right, so that is highlight the information first, or if you don't want to highlight the information first, you can simply select a blank cell. I'm sorry, if the information is not there and you want to make the columns have the format or the rows have the format before you put in the information, go ahead and highlight it. And I can do, if I click on a G, a letter or a number, it's going to highlight for as long as that row or column lasts. And I can change that to a $. Then when I come in here and I begin to type them, they're automatically going to have the currency format for me. And so that is really, that's formatting before you type, or you can simply format after you type. Really no difference there. So now I'm going to show you how to add all these up real quick. Again, and we're using everything with a click of the mouse. I'm not really having you memorize anything as far as menus. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So if I want to total this cell right here on the main bar that shows up in Sheets, if I come all the way over the side, you see the funny E. That's the sum. If I click on that, it's going to say, what do you want to sum? Well, here it looks like it's giving me the value. All I have to do is put in cell references. Or if I select these and you see there it's gone from G2 to G7 and I press the enter key, then it's automatically summed those. So if you give this for an exam, for an assignment for a student to do and you want them to sum it up, they're probably going to pull out their cell phone and add those up and type 163 for you. But if you want to be sure they're doing it correctly, you simply highlight that cell, and then here in what we call the formula bar, or right next to the FX, you're going to see the formula is written out. So when I teach computer applications, and I'm doing that online with students right now, it's basically saying their assignment is to type a formula, not just to tell me what the total is, but to type a formula. Because then if I go back in now and I start changing these, then you see my total starts changing. So this is cross-curricular. If you're doing economics and you're doing the stock market, you want them to keep up with their averages in English. I mean, you're doing some graphs in math. I mean, have them use Excel and Sheets to go in and do the same thing you're teaching, but make them use the formulas and get their minds thinking kind of cross-curricular. So, quick thing here, we learned how to freeze cells, we learned how to do formulas, and we did some basic formatting. So, that's a quick little video there. Just leave me a comment on any suggestions or anything, or maybe if you didn't know this, just give me a thumbs up that it helped you out a little. Thanks.